Hello champions and future champions, hello Chessmood family. Gabuzyan is here with you, and we're beginning our daily lesson video. Today, we're going to continue topic of two previous dailies, when one of the sides is creating an attack with the same side castle. So, in the first daily, one of the sides was succeeding. In the second video, we have seen situations when attack is not working. Both of the scenarios in the previous ones was including pawn storm on opponent's king. Today we're going to see different situations when we're creating attacks on the same side castle conditions with our pieces. In this position, is white to move. We have a good reason why we can be attacking. I will ask you, try to figure out what's the reason attack is working and how to begin our attack. You can pause the video and think about this. The reason is our attack is going to work is our space advantage on the king side and very strong f5 pawn. It's fixing the pawn on g7, as well controlling some important squares. Because of space advantage, Black will have some difficulties bringing pieces to the defense. And since our pawn is on the f5, giving us space, we also have a lot of space here for our pieces. White is beginning with rook f4 move and planning to bring the rook to the g file. The thing is now, our knight on d5 is staying very strong, but if Black is trying to play c6 and throw it away, we go back. The pawn on d6 is gonna be very much weakened now, and after queen e7, we can play queen d2, this pawn will be lost. For this reason, after rook f4, Black is not playing c6, but tried to go rook to c8, rook g4, and bishop to e8. Now Black threatens to go bishop h5 and pin this rook. Question to you, how to continue as white? You can pause the video and think about this. We can be playing knight f4, trying to prevent this threat. Black here is planning to play bishop to f7. After bishop e8, there is much stronger option available. We're ignoring bishop h5 threat and going rook to d3. The thing is now that after bishop h5, there is rook g7 check, king g7 and queen h5. We sacrificed an exchange, but Black king is now completely naked. Because of threats like rook g3 check, later on queen h6, pawn on f6 may be under attack. Sometimes we're going to play knight f4, knight e6, or if king is on h8, knight g6 threats will appear. Because of all of this, White's position now is winning. And after rook d3, Black played rook f7. Now rook to g3. Since our heavy pieces are already on the king side, Black here plays c6 without worrying much about d6 pawn. But now it's too late. After knight f4, White is having a decisive pressure. It happened queen b6 check, king h2, and now Black goes rook c7, knight e6 and rook c7. All of White pieces are attacking the king except of the queen. And the last maneuver we're making is activating our queen. White goes queen d2. In the game, it has happened bishop d7 and White is winning with queen h6. The g7 is hanging now because we have 4 attackers versus 3 defenders. But Black also can take on e6. And here is the thing, after we take back with the pawn, the rook on f7 is hanging. Once Black is taking on e6, rook g7 is already available. After queen d2 in this position, there was also an option of playing king to h8. I will ask you one more time to pause the video and think how White can continue here. We are having beautiful queen h6 move, still attacking on g7 and threatening to take. And if now Black takes the queen, rook g8 is checkmating. In this game, because of nice space advantage, White created a very nice attack with the pieces on opponent's king. Let's go ahead and see our next example. In this pawn down position, it's white to move. Before going for explanations, I will offer you to pause the video and think, how can we continue? If you again noticed, we have a nice pawn, which is giving us some space. As well, we have the open lines. On top of this, we're having black pieces far from the king side. This means we have very good chances to create the attack. White's going with knight h4. Idea is to bring the rook to g3 square and put knight f5, create some decisive threats over the opponent's king. It has happened rook a e8 and rook to c3. Now, move like f6, trying to simplify the position and exchange this strong defender is not working. White has a strong continuation. I offer you to pause the video and think about this. We're going knight to g6, attacking the rook. Rook f7 is the only move, and now e6. And suddenly, this rook is being trapped. Now, we're threatening e takes f7 with a check. And if black goes king to h7, trying to use the fact our queen is under a pin. We're still able to take, and after rook takes e2, we can promote another queen. So, white is winning. That's why after rook c3, black played knight c8 in the game, and now we're going rook to g3. In a few moves, white is creating very strong attack on opponent's king. It has happened knight e7, and the next beautiful move is rook to f6. Threatening rook takes h6. Because of many pieces nearby to the king, white is having a winning attack now. There are a few ways to defend, but none of them are going to work out. If black goes king to h8, white has a very nice mating continuation. You can pause the video and think about this. Here we go with queen h5 move. Now if black takes, queen h6 is checkmating. After queen h5, black tried to go knight to g8. And another beautiful move is here. Once again, you can pause the video, and if you haven't seen it previously, try to find it. We are now playing rook g7, king g7, and knight f5 check. And the thing is that after king h7, we are mating with rook h6 check. Knight h6, queen h6, and after king g8, queen g7 is mating. For this reason, after rook f6 move, black tried to play g6, and we're still going queen h5. After king g7, another time, white has a winning continuation. I offer you to pause the video and try to find it. If you pay attention, we have more attackers on g6 than black has the defenders. And even though we are losing a material taking it, we are destroying opponent's king's pawn coverage. So after pawn takes, rook g6, knight g6, and rook takes back g6, king h8, white is winning with rook h6 check. King g8, rook h8 check, and king g7, queen h7 checkmate. I hope you liked this beautiful attack as well, and let's go ahead to see the next position. Now I am going to show you an option which can be arising out of our Chessmood variations. e4 c5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop b5. And after g6, which is a bad move, and if you don't know why g6 here is bad, I really recommend to check out the Chessmood course of Anti-Sicilian. Bishop c6, pawn takes and d3. Bishop g7 f4, d6, knight f3. White is building a healthy position. And after knight f6, castle castle, we are playing in our lines queen e1, rook b8 and queen h4. Since we're again having space advantage on the king side, white is bringing queen to h4, and there are different interesting ideas. We can be playing with f5, bishop h6, sometimes go knight g5, rook f3, rook h3 is possible. With our pieces, white has a very nice option to create side attack on opponent's king. So if you like this kind of positions, I really recommend you to check out our courses. Now let's go ahead to the next one, which will be your homework for this topic. Now it's white to move. We are having a bad pawn structure because of doubled pawns, but as well some nice attacking options. How to build white's game in this position? You can share your thoughts and ideas in the comments section below. Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. See you next time during our next daily lessons.